That Mr. Karki presented due to climate change and disaster, landslides, and all that, they are all obvious, we can see them. The other part of climate change is, I think, pollution. Doctors advise that should not get out of their homes, and if they have to, they should wear masks. I cannot resist walking, so I wear masks. I have to wear glasses, so when I wear mask and glasses, and the Kathmandu smog pollution, my glasses get fogged in. Finally, in terms of scholarship, who has been with us, so supportive in many ways, expert guidance as you did this time. So again, please remember that this opportunity will take you a long way, and make sure that you act in a way you make a change in Nepal. And also, I know some of our students have gone abroad, worked there, so in international way also you'll be contributing. So thank you again for everything. Thank you.
Now we're coming to the part. The students have been listening, learning over the last few days, and now we're going to find out what you learned. Time for you all to do your presentations, but just before the presentation, I just have one thing to remind you. Indreshi has sent you this post-evaluation. 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes. I've known Andreas personally for many years, and I know he is a great advocate for youth learning and encouraging youth, and I know he's excited to hear that on their presentations. So, okay, so I'm going to say, are you ready? I'm going to ask the first group, I'm going to call it out on what you studied, and I'm not going to talk about the topic, you will discuss that. So, bird migrations, Sneha Thapa, can you come up and do the presentation?
A very good morning, everyone. I'm Sneha Thapa, a first-year student here at National College. So first, I would like to start by thanking all the Konrad Adenauer Foundation members present here who made this workshop happen, who supported us on learning and growing from day one. This opportunity to work alongside everyone couldn't have been more memorable. So during this workshop, we had sessions on climate change and disaster management in Nepal, where we were exposed to how climate change is accelerating and how it affects almost everything around us. Where our group was to present about this bird migration due to climate change based on the data that was provided to us. So these are the 3 major districts with the highest bird migration counts in India, which are Assam, Bharatpur, and Chilika, and our presentation is based on those 3 districts. So here's the introduction. So human-driven climate change is intensifying, resulting in increasingly frequent extreme weather events that is affecting everyone and everything around us on the earth, including the animals and the birds. Climate change alters the survival rates of birds, most importantly migratory birds, where the sudden climate change and unreliable weather conditions change their geographical distribution, because the birds are highly sensitive to environmental cues, meaning that their behaviors, population, and migratory patterns change. Parameters for planetary health, which habitat factors best support bird population, what is the impact of extreme weather on bird counts, and how do trends differ across the wetland sites. So these are 3 districts in India with the highest bird migration counts. So these are, this on the left is the bird count. As we can see, Assam has the highest, then Chilika, and then Bharatpur. The arrival those are the day counts of how late they are, and the graph can be seen fluctuating over the years. So our key findings from the data that was provided to us are how warmer temperatures equals to birds arriving later on. Extreme weather causes big disruption. Significantly more birds. Small wetlands saw sharp drops. Greener habitats attract more birds. High vegetation zones had the highest bird counts. Healthy plants are essential for the birds as well. For years, the previous data also showcased this. 20,824 peak bird count recorded, which was in Assam, and 100 km square wetland size for healthy counts. Our conclusion is climate change is making birds arrive late. Healthy wetlands protect birds. Large green Bharatpur needs urgent conservation action. Migratory bird species before it's too late.
I'd like to call the group that looked at the impact of climate change on apple production, and I understand Pushkar Yadav will be presenting on their behalf.
Today I'll be presenting a climate impact analysis on a topic that directly affects millions of farmers across India: how rising temperatures are reshaping apple production in the Himalayan regions. Apple cultivation in India is deeply tied to specific climate conditions, particularly cold winters. As global temperature rises, these conditions are changing rapidly, and the consequences for productivity are significant. Over the next 5 minutes, I will walk you through the data, the key findings, and the science behind the impact, and what can we do about it. Our study analyzed 200 observations from three key apple growth districts: Simla and Kulu in Himachal Pradesh and Almora in Uttarakhand. We measure apple productivity in tons per hectare against 4 independent variables: temperature, altitude, chilling hours, and the rainfall. A strong negative correlation at minus productivity falls. Drilling into the findings, we identified 4 critical productivity drivers. First, chilling hours, the strongest predictor. Cold exposure during dormancy is essential for fruit development and flowering. Second, altitude regions above 1800 meters consequently outperform lower zones due to stable thermal conditions years around. Third, temperature shows a clear negative impact, narrowing the suitable cultivation window as warming increases. And fourth, low altitude districts like Kulu valleys and lower Simla are now classified as high risk zone, as warming steadily reduces their stability for apple farming. During dormancy, leading to eradicate blossoming and poor flower initiation at lower altitudes below 1200 meters, thermal stress becomes extreme, while higher zones above 1800 meters retain the cooling concept, and critically thermal shifts. But there is clear roadmap for adaptation. Winter chilling hours, precision irrigation, and canopy shading can help manage microclimates locally. At the policy level, government subsidies for resilient technology and farmer training program are essential. As this report puts it, climate resilient and agriculture is no longer optional. It is necessary for India's apple industry. Thank you.
And at least one thing that for the next group, which is looking at animal migration patterns and the impact of climate change, Anivung Rai.
For giving us this opportunity to learn about climate change and the vulnerability of climate change. Today we are presenting about how climate change affects animal migration. Our study explores how climate-related environmental challenges affect wildlife movement patterns between 2015 to 2013 in the region of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. The main objective of our study were to understand how climate change influences animal migration impact on migration, on its importance for maintaining ecological balance. In this study, we have used two variables, dependent and independent variables. For independent variables, we have a temperature, fire, forest, and human activity. Likewise, for our independent variable, we have migration index. Our 200 records, and we have collected data from 2015 to 2023, and information of two reasons. More stable habitats reducing the need for migration. Finally, human activity shows only weak direct relation with migration in this data set, as human activity can lead migration indirectly, but according to this data, human activity shows weak relation. Forest covers also remove migration corridors and breeding areas. This is important because disrupted migration affect biodiversity, food chain, ecosystem, and even human communities. In conclusion, our study shows that climate change plays a major role in shaping animal migration patterns. Temperature increase and forest fires are the strongest drivers of migration, while forest conservation can help reduce environmental stress and wildlife. Thank you.
Not the least, can we ask the group that looked at the impact of mango production and climate change? Aman Shrestha.
Everyone, my name is Aman Shrestha. I am a first year student from BDS faculty, and first of all I would like to thank Cash for this amazing 4 days it has been. And now I would like to move on to our slides, and we were given mango yield, and we were given 200 data observations over 3 districts and across 9 years, and those three districts were Ratnagiri, Nagpur, and Mahilabad. We used 4 variables from the given observations to conclude some things that you will know later. Those variables were average annual rainfall, average temperature, average soil moisture, and average wind speed, and what effects they had on the mango yield. When we had a look at the data, we found out that annual average rainfall had the most effect on the data. And from the graph we can see that when the rainfall is at an average, the production is at maximum, but when the rainfall goes to extremes low or high, the production decreases constantly. And from this, and moving on to the next slide, we observe one district, Mahilabad, over 2 years, 2018 and 2015. The data sets were almost identical, but there was a difference of 135 tons per hectare in mango production. Production went down, but we couldn't see because we were looking at the year's average. So that's basically our finding. And the next is regression model. This is, and when we use this model, we saw the and wind speed are going does, except for the extremes. Basically, soil moisture matters more than the other factors. Averages can mislead when looked at from years perspective. So we have to go down to the district level to see more and get more insights. And climate change is a big risk when it comes to this, as something not in the slides, there was a data factor called extreme rain, and we saw an increasing trend of extreme rain. And when it comes to, like, over the years, the extreme rain was increasing, the frequency of extreme rain was increasing, even though average annual rainfall remained basically up and down.
Mr. Klein to give his feedback, but just before I do, I just had a question. Why were we looking at the data just from India, not Nepal? the objective of this exercise was not to focus on the data, but actually to understand what is climate change, how does it actually impact. And we used this data from India because we had real data. This is actual data that they had collected over many years. So it was a data set that we had access to. Sometimes it's an access thing. But the idea was to use this information, learn the skills of analyzing, which all of you did. You had the original data sets. I saw all those Excel sheets, how to work on them, do the regressions. And then this will be a transferable skill that you can then use on any data set, whether it's Nepal, anywhere else in the world. So that's just what I wanted to understand. So then, Andreas, can I invite you to give the feedback and also the remarks on the workshop? Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate all of you, the presenters now, the 4 presenters, but I know that behind the presentations there was a group work, so I'd like to congratulate all the students involved in the presentation and preparing the presentations. I cannot comment the content, as I have not been in Chitwan, unfortunately, and as I'm not into those kind of studies. So in your first academic year, you're much more advanced than I'm in my 50 plus life experience. But I was very impressed by the concise presentations. You had a very strong time regime, so you stick to the 5 minutes time. And I know that from other presentations, of course, that is very difficult. Work with the data and to so much into the topic, be it bird migration or the apple production or animal migration pattern in general impacted by climate change, or as we saw at last the mango production. So I think as organizers we can be very happy with the results of the workshop. You got some presentations from experts, Nepalese experts, outside Nepal experts. You got the data you worked with. So I want to congratulate the college also to this batch of first year students who can work with this kind of data provided to them and make it into a presentation. I think that was really, you had the challenge and you, I would say, mission completed. Very happy about this cooperation because it's a joint effort. You are telling us the needs and demands for your Nepalese environment, but you're letting us in with some ideas from the outside, so to say. And when I look at the result, as I said, without having been at the seminar in Chitwan, I'm very happy with the outcome, and hopefully you are as well from the academic point of view. And I think that is how the approach towards climate change should and could work as well. Really an eye-opener when I visited Pokhara, was it last year or the year before? Last year, and we, together with alumni from the Asian University of Women in Chittagong and our scholars from the National College, we had also an environmental climate change, day-to-day experience and the impact of climate change. They didn't have those data, these numbers, but they could tell you, Dr. Konrad was very moved by your presentation. They could tell us, when they grew up, some 70, 60, 50 years ago, they lived in a different environment. And they are farmers, their families are farmers, their parents were farmers, and they could tell us, crops are getting less, harvesting is more difficult, the monsoon has changed over the years, and it has a direct impact on their life. Here, the river was in Sri Lanka some weeks ago, where the cyclone forgot the name, in November destroyed parts of the country, a coastline of Sri Lanka, but also in Kandy, like in the hilly region. And we were visiting a place just the mangroves, actually, just outside Colombo, 2 hours drive, where the cyclone hit the coastline and destroyed like water reservoirs, for the people, and they were there for hundreds of years, providing drink water for the farmers, for the families there, for the cities, and the cyclone destroyed parts of it, and it was really a natural disaster to see those drink water basins, just drying out because the dam broke. Glaciers are shrinking, from your apartment window in Santiago de Chile when you're looking up to the Andes, and that not just over decades, but even in the 6 years which we lived there. You're studying all this, so the generation which is following you, and we have an organization here, SAYS, which was established by alumni of the college and the Asian University of Women, which is doing exactly that, promoting, raising the awareness of the impact of climate change in the local communities, which are, despite all the internet and everything and the modern communication, are not so much into really what's happening around, them. They are the ones which are mostly impacted, but sometimes they don't know what is going on and how to deal with this. And so that is why it's so important for you guys, even in the young stage, be it as a first-year student or later, to get involved with the local communities and communicate your knowledge to the next generation, the young generation. Live through what we describe today as climate change over decades, but also your own personal experience as youngsters, the next generation, as you're more aware of the impact of the climate change and how to deal with it. So I'm very happy that we have this cooperation with the National College here in Kathmandu. And as I said, I'm always taking something with me as well by listening to you, talking to you, but also seeing the surroundings, particularly here in Nepal and in the region, and for having us, for being so patient with us, and also giving your students the chance for this international exposure. Thank you very much.
Before we go on to the next segment, my apologies. I know Indreshi had asked me yesterday, and we wanted to mention that with your present. So considering that, we just wanted to say and acknowledge that you've done a really great job with putting it all together, analyzing the data, putting it in that logical sequence, and doing what Dr. Palak asked you to do, which is to use the evidence to come up with the conclusions. So well done to you all. Congratulations. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Yes.
So you can skip that class.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And now we'd like to invite Mr. Madhavji and Mr. Klein to come back up onto the stage to present the certificates to each of the students.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Marsa.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Nice presentation. Congratulations.
Sorry?
Are we just going to take a group?
We will have two students come up and speak a little bit about what they thought about the workshop. So we have Aman and Icha, I think, right? Yes.
Dear friend, sisters, brother, and everyone present over here. The workshop was really highly experienced, so I would like to thank all the organizing team, the highly experts from a national and international platform, also by their juniors, so that they really, they really connected with us as a mentor from the last year student. And the junior really showed their eagerness to learn, and also the workshop from the first day was really a full-fledged workshop. We also got the real basic knowledge about the climate change and impact of it, and also we get an opportunity to visit the community, Madi community over there. And I would also like to thank our Buzu sir, who really guided us to get the survey questionnaire and all. The experience in a full way was 100 out of 100. So I guess action speaks more louder than words. So when I say tick tick one, I would like to request you to clap for the first one clap, and when I say tick tick two, you just clap for twice, and tick tick three is so much. And the first tick tick is holder of national and international sports. We showed our energy to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That is why also the first third tick tick is promised from our side that we're gonna implement those outcomes in our real life, and we're gonna make aware of others about climate vulnerability and all. And we also promise that this workshop will be a very important and impactful in our real life, so that we can make more outcome in to our local communities and all. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Everybody, respected principal and cast team and everybody out here. I'm gonna share my experience of field trip. The 4-day field trip to Madi, Chitwan was a great opportunity to see climate disaster management looks like in a real life. Thanks to support from cast team, we were able to learn directly from the international expertise about worldwide issues as well. We didn't just listen to lecture, but also learn the practical knowledge like using Excel and relate it with our information. Being on the ground in Madi helped us understand the daily struggle of people living in the buffer zone. We saw how climate change and nearby national park affect their safety and their farms, which made us think more about our government handle protection for these communities. Overall, the trip turned our classroom lesson into real-world experience, teaching us that solving environmental problems require both technical skill and clear understanding of people involved in it. Thank you.
Okay, one more.
So much informative program, workshop that was held in Chitwan. It was actually very much new and exciting for us. It was not new overall, like we knew about climate change, but we didn't know about its depth and how much it's affecting us in our day-to-day lives. So it was actually very much like we knew it on a very basic level, but now we know it on a very level that we can help contribute to the society. So I would like to thank overall everyone who joined and made this whole workshop productive and help us achieve this goal. Thank you so much.
Give everyone a reminder to fill up the survey so we get more feedback. Anyone else who wants to speak or?
So for the last week, me and our sales group with Ujjwal sir, we went to Chitwan for our climate project. But specifically for this workshop, what was the thing which was more interesting to me was like, so I'm coming from Afghanistan, which geographically is very similar to Nepal, and every year we are experiencing flood, earthquake, disaster, and everything. So unfortunately, I cannot go there and do survey on the ground level. But what I saw is that we are facing very similar challenges. Like in less than 1 month ago in Afghanistan, we had a very massive flood, which like so many houses were destroyed and people were like displaced. So same thing is happening in Nepal, and I saw very similar things that is happening in both countries. And I got the chance to talk to people in the local community and hear about their experiences. Though like there are some differences in both countries, but like experiences are like similar, and we both face very difficulties in terms of climate change and everything. So my experience was, and the interesting part was like there was like a presentation about the data were from India and everything, and also we had Dr. Tamara who gave a talk about like mosquito issue in Nepal, which is a new issue where in the past it was not, but because of the climate change and rising temperature, we have this mosquito issue, and she like gave a little bit of information about that. So this was very new information and very new experience to me, and I'm very glad that I was there with you guys, and hope to learn more with you. Thank you, Cass and National College.
Is that I wanted to talk about the off session experience as well. This this session not only provided us all the formal and all the academic knowledge, but it was also fruitful in terms of networking as well as the off session experience. I would like to highlight one particular experience is that me, Buzu sir, and Indish sir were talking about the impacts of climate change and the buffer impacts and the impacts within the buffer zone, which were not highlighted particularly within the sessions that we had. So I would like to thank you to all the experts, especially the international experts as well as our own Nepalese experts for providing us this closure, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Guest partner.
For this workshop, for both the reason of disaster, because you must have seen on the way to Kurintar and beyond how landslides and floods have impacted our roads. Did you see? I'm sure you saw that the landslide can really impact on road transportation networks in Nepal, and also Chitwan in a particular place because it also has the Rapti river, which swells during the flood season and also impacts agriculture and wildlife movement. And thirdly, also because it is also a borderland. It is very close to the Indo-Nepal border, and sometimes wildlife crisscross each other's territory. I'm so happy that National College is now starting an international relations department, which international relations also involves international boundary lines. And according to the Treaty of 1816, the Sugoli Treaty, the famous one, Indo-Nepal border has a natural boundary line, the river. River Mahakali is our international boundary line. But the problem now is the river changes course. So our border changes. Sometimes an entire village can go on the other side. So there is a very famous, to put it on a humorous note, a very famous newspaper of Nepal wrote last year. And the headline was, Indian elephants create havoc in Nepali village, steal bananas. And that was the headline. Now, when you were returning back from Chitwan yesterday, I was having climate anxiety because there was heavy rainfall and you were going to Kurintar. Nowadays, there is a thing called climate migration. There is a thing called climate anxiety that takes us to another department of the college, which is psychology department. So, climate change is having its impact on psychology. It is having impact on international law, international relations, and the whole thing about climate funding and so forth. So I think the whole nature of this debate is now becoming all-encompassing into all subjects of human life. Not only it is got to do with disaster management. I'm sure you also found it useful, the visit to the Armed Police Force Disaster Management Academy, Disaster Management Center. It is a live center in which, yesterday morning at around 6 o'clock, I received a call from the SSP looking after the center, and they said there has been a truck accident. So whenever there is a accident in the highway leading to Kathmandu, that center gets involved, and they have to, immediately send personnel either for rescue or, treatment, health treatment, or ambulances and so forth. I'm sure you enjoyed your visit and found it useful, the visit to the Armed Police Force Disaster Management Center in Kurintar. in our constitution, the entire disaster management has been given to armed police. So it is the forte and of the Nepal Armed Police Force which looks after disaster management issues. So not only floods or glacial lake outbursts, not only changing of rivers, swelling of rivers, but there is also the whole issue of local government in our scheme of management. So I'm sure you met some local government officials also when you were there. So it has been a very useful, fruitful workshop. I'm very happy from the COSAT side. We are the local partner of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation. That some of you who are the fourth year students have also been participating in our conferences. And once you graduate, you can be part of the Center for South Asian Studies also in our conferences, in the publications that we bring out. Many of them are also on climate change issues and comprehensive. And on behalf of COSAT, I'd like to gift. He's wearing a cricket. Thank you so much.
That we have seen in the agenda, we were supposed to have some welcome remarks from Dr. Chandalal Pandey, who is the Associate Professor of Development Studies at Kathmandu University. He made a big effort. He was trying to fly in, and he's rushed straight from the airport, and he literally just arrived. So we'd just like to, if you could just give.
First of all, thank you very much, Madhav sir, for asking me to be here today on time in the morning, but I was not able to do so because I was in Bhairava on some personal, let's say, work, and I just arrived Kathmandu and directly from airport to here. Well, I think lots of things, because it's a 4-day conference, right? It began from 4th of May, and then today it's okay. And those individuals who participated in the program, they must have learned a lot of things, right? And fortunately, I also teach climate change and disaster in Kathmandu University, right? And you can go to my profile and see lots of papers on disaster management, on climate change, right? Particularly from, let's say, social aspects. So I'm very glad that this conference is being held in our own college, National College of Kathmandu University, right? Now, when you think about climate change, this is one of the biggest, threats of 21st century. And every day is delaying. We do celebrate about our Paris Agreement, right? 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius. But then, countries of the world, they are not moving at the same space to limit ourselves at 2 degrees Celsius. That's what latest statistics tell us about. Now let's come down to national scenario of climate change. When you look at climate change locally for Nepal, what does it mean to us? It can be very context specific, right? For example, when you look at global literature, climate change refers to sea level rise, globes, right? Ice melting on the mountains. But if you look at Nepal, we are in such a geography that we will not be affected by sea level rise. Without water, we cannot think of life. Right? And our water system in Nepal, they are badly getting affected. Therefore, we need to think about mitigation. We need to think about adaptation also, right? And for that, we need skills, locally, very much tailored-made, customized adaptation, which may be suitable for India, may not be suitable for Nepal, which may be suitable for Kathmandu, may not be suitable for Bhairava. So you need to think about these things. I think you have already learned, but then think, being very, very specific. Okay, what are the potential disasters? Say rainfall of 1 week. Maybe for another 20, 30 years, we may be getting affected by floods. But after 30 years, we may not have any water available then, right? Now we have problem of too much water. In next 50 years' time, we may have problem of too little water. It's water scarcity, right? So as you are studying development studies and different programs here in Kathmandu University, you need to think and build your skill, not only talk. How do I actually address these things? And we need people who have skills, who can go to different communities and engage in climate-induced disasters. And beyond climate disasters, there are other disasters also. We are talking about hydrometeorological disasters here now. But then, apart from that, there are different types of disasters that you need to think of and prepare yourself very well. And I think these kinds of academic conferences do help, because you get multiple ideas. Sometimes we get blind, and when we have multiple ideas, then we can think better, we can act better, right? And you need to develop this climate. Can't wait for this vertical orders. Shall I save life? Yes, then go ahead. No, you don't have time to do those kinds of things. For save life, take orders in later way. And there are different types of processes of leadership also that you need to think of. I keep myself short because I'm the last speaker. You must be tired, right? So, as you are our students, of course, when you think of joining Kathmandu University for your master's program, PhD program, so I'm always there with you, right? So that I can facilitate you, guide you. But of course, you have learned lots of things. Try to bring those things in your practical life, and then protect communities, protect societies, protect yourself, protect country, protect the world, right? I think that's how we can think of. We can go to this North-South politics and climate change, but that may help, may not help. So we need to go beyond that as well. Having said this, once again, thank you very much, National College, and then Madhav sir, principal, and whole board and students. And I can see your colleagues from other institutions also here. Thank you very much for joining, your hands with National College, and then enlightening our students about climate change and disaster. With this, thank you very much once again. Namaste.